there were 4 different people that asked this question in different ways. So I'm going to read the longest one and my answer to it, and then the nuances from that point on. This first one is a kind of a big topic. So question 1, the person wrote, I am currently doing all basic classes, including the basic sciences, and my intended major is pre-med biology, according to my school, etc., etc. But after browsing the school website, they have another major that is also interesting. It's a BS in biology, parentheses, medical technology. So it seems really interesting, and the requirements are the same, except there's a few more classes but less math. And all you have to do is calculus 1, etc., etc. So the question is, it sounds really interesting. Is there a good reason that her teacher told her a lot of students that want to go into medicine don't do that major? She's asking, why don't people do medical technology that want to be pre-med? She asked me if I think it's a good program, and says that it is a competitive program. It's not a certainty that she can get in, etc., etc. So what do I think? So here's my response. Congratulations on finishing another semester. By the way, I'm about to do my next podcast, so we'll answer some of those questions about which schools to take and attend. That podcast has already been done, by the way. So this is a very interesting question about the medical technology curriculum. I say that because it brings up a big concept in the admissions culture called program hopping. The way it works is when people transfer from one program to another, such as a PhD program, a master's, nursing, or physician assistant programs in an attempt to enter medical school, the main question that you have to answer is, why are you doing it? What most advisors don't demonstrate at the undergraduate level is a genuine understanding of the critical health care provider shortage. If someone takes a seat in a competitive medical technology program and then doesn't fill that position in the community, but they go ahead and change careers per se, like go into medicine, then they've wasted the community resources for the med tech program. Keep in mind, too, that state-supported schools like the University of Texas, University of Houston, for example, anything with the University of is usually getting money from the state. They have a mandate to fill the shortage in the communities, generally from their state. It's a written mandate, as efficiently as possible, or they face the threat of losing funding. So if they know you're doing that, you're intending to do that, it works against their best interests. The next comment was, but have no fear. With the little bit I knew about this person, I could see a bulletproof plan that would cement our entire application and undergraduate experience. Are you ready? So number 1 was, do whatever is safest and most convenient for you in this particular semester. Number 2 was, stick with whatever undergraduate major that you like the most. Okay? And do the MedTech program if it sounds interesting enough to finish. I say go for it. I happen to have had access to this person's personal essay and noticed that she was interested in pathology. And when pathology is right in the same vein as medical technology, so if she were to either edit her personal statement, or when asked why she's switching from med tech to medicine, she could say it's a pathology background. And that's a good tie-in that they could appreciate. Pathologists would appreciate that interest as an undergraduate in medical technology. Okay? So that's the answer to the first question. There were 3 other people that asked similar related questions with some nuances. So let me just cover those real quick. One was the transformation from the RN to the MD and the reality of it. I'll just say that I've only known one RN that went to an MD position, and he really struggled in the beginning of his residency. For other reasons, was actually fired because of other complicated reasons, not for this reason. But he expressed to me about the difficulty of changing the mindset. Physicians and nurses are trained totally different. Now, the ICU nurses tend to be independent thinkers. and problem solvers, more than nurses in many other units in the hospital. So it depends on what kind of work you do. I would say that if you're a practicing nurse now and you want to, if you're serious about becoming a physician, you really should get some critical care experience. That's my personal opinion based on what I've seen, because I've seen like medical ICU, not really the cardiology ICU, but the shock trauma ICU. I see some of those nurses really thinking about the fundamental pathophysiologic concepts behind the treatments that they're doing and asking questions, and their education gets high enough where they're asking the critical care physicians why they're doing what they're doing, and have a lot of respect of the physicians there, rather than just, no offense at all, okay, no offense at all, but rather than being a kind of follow the orders on the floor of the physician and never question anything you see, because there are a lot of physicians. So I imagine that the person who asked me this question is a good nurse. Okay, that is assumed. And if you're a good nurse, go for it. I think it'll be a great experience. You'll be a great leader for the nurses. You won't disrespect them, and set a good positive tone in your working environment. Okay? Another person put, for me to please include experiences from medical school students. We already talked about that, and I will be doing that in the future with interviews. Send me your questions. So what do medical schools think about nursing majors who are going into medical school? So that's a little bit of a nuance. Again, think about the public community thing. You need to, if you're the genuine article, you're going to become a physician. You got some reason why you're switching. And if you're each individual, you need to really articulate that and know it for yourself. So as far as what they think, if you've got a good reason, and I don't have time here to go into a bunch of made-up examples. If you've got a good reason, I don't think they care. It's good experience. It's good background. It doesn't discriminate you. The last person on this nuance said, I want to learn about the MCAT prep and advice on choosing a major for Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science degree. So to emphasize again about choosing a major, I covered this in a previous podcast, so check out the other podcasts. But also, you should choose the major that you are interested in. This is your time in your life. Don't do everything for a piece of paper of what some admissions committee person in a bow tie that's too tight is going to care about in 3 years from now. Enjoy your life. You're young. These are the good old days. Okay, these are the good old days if you're pre-med. So enjoy them. You should pick a major that you enjoy, that you care about. If it's art or literature, this will be the last time you'll have this much time to devote to a topic you love. Pick something that you care enough about to finish. Question number 2. This person said, I was wondering if you had any references for me in order to beef up my knowledge of healthcare policy and issues in the United States and maybe abroad. I really appreciate any resources, or if you could point me in the right direction. That's a little easier question. So what I wanted to know from him was what he's interested in learning about, anything specific or just basic stuff, so that you're up to date on policies and what's going on in healthcare in the United States and worldwide prior to the medical school interview, because they ask you, current events questions. So what I recommend is a magazine called American Medical News. It's put out by the American Medical Association, and it is right up this vein. This is Dr. Daniel Williams with PremedicalUniversity.com. This has been a sample of only 1 or 2 of the questions that were asked in my 50-question survey. So if you'll go to PremedicalUniversity.com, you can check out the rest of the top 50 questions that pre-medical students must know. You can test drive a DVD course I put together over there just for you. Thanks.